But to work with BPD is to make space for it, and feel that like whatever their response is, it's not going to drive their loved ones away. That we understand it's a response to trauma, and we can move our boundaries in this scenario and bring the temperature down when it happens. To me, all the anger at BPD seems just like NPD scapegoating BPD. That's what it seems like to me. That like there is this kind of zero-sum game going on where everything is BPD's fault, which reeks of narcissistic scapegoating, where narcissistic abuse is essentially a tug of war for reality, where the narcissist is trapped in their own disordered reality here. The other person is here. A normal relationship, the people move and come to the center for a relationship. A narcissist never moves. Right? They will always say everything is BPD's fault. Everything is the scapegoat's fault. There's no actual nuance.
Just the algorithming out here. I had an ex-partner accuse me of having BPD because once I presented him with all of the facts and the receipts as to why he categorically was a narcissist, a covert narcissist. He accepted that for a little bit because he had a narcissistic injury. But then as time went on and it started to sink in, he went back into his delusion of narcissism and started to do research as to how it was my fault. Again, to keep up with his narcissistic delusion that nothing is his fault and that he in fact is perfect. The product of that research was that I had borderline personality disorder, and he started to throw that at me, which I thought was on so many levels, so layered and nuanced. As an English teacher, I could write an entire thesis on this strategy. Here he is out here being a covert narcissist, refusing to take any blame, doing anything he can do to bolster his sense of reality, of delusion, that he never does anything wrong, thereby calling me somebody with borderline personality disorder. And he thinks that I haven't actually researched that. I have researched borderline personality disorder because, as this gentleman says, borderline personality disorder is an effect of abuse from people with narcissistic personality disorder. So knowing the way that I was raised, of course, I was very interested in, could I have borderline personality disorder? In fact, I went over it with my therapist multiple times. She tested me for it. So I knew that I did show some symptoms of being neglected, being emotionally gaslit, being stonewalled, being subjected to the silent treatment in that relationship with him, and that those normal human effects of that type of treatment could come off as borderline personality disorder. So I did see where he could get that inference, but I had already studied it out and had been precluded from having it. So I just think it's so interesting that the one with narcissistic personality disorder, which inherently is a disorder where they cannot accept responsibility, they cannot see outside their bubble of delusion, is accusing me of having borderline personality disorder, to not have to change, to not have to accept any responsibility for his part in the breakup and frankly the abuse in the relationship, and then turn it back on me using psychopathy speech, which he is marrying, that I'm doing, to accuse me of being the main the main crux of the problem. And it's exactly as this man said, it is NPD scapegoating BPD so that they can have NPD. All the levels of nuance, it's an English teacher's dream.